Real Fetish.
My life's like a movie, paparazzi picture. If it's to get richer, then I'll probably get with you.
Real Fetish.
So how are you going to spend World War III?
Why are we laughing? This show is going to be like a time capsule. Like
They're going to find it. The aliens are going to find this shit along with Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, only built for Cuban links, and a Hank Aaron rookie card in a time capsule.
And will judge us.
They will judge us.
So I was thinking about spending it online. And like sort of just watching the shit burn.
Yo, they out here crashing into drones and shit.
Over the Black Sea, you said?
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. It feels like everywhere is on the brink of something.
Yeah.
You know?
Why not the brink of greatness, though?
No, ain't got time for them brinks.
Oh, my God.
Them brinks ain't brinking right now, but it do seem like all over the world there's like all these conflicts that are just like they've either boiled over or are boiling over. And I just hope that everybody out there is spending a few moments of peace and love with themselves, because shit, wow, hectic out here.
I hope everybody is getting their money out of those banks.
Building a bunker.
Yeah, what do you mean? Time with yourself. You can masturbate once you're in hiding. I can't believe, wow. Laughter is really a response to stress.
I mean, for me, it's medicine. If you can't laugh about shit, you get stuck on it.
Some
You know
shit
what I'm
ain't
saying?
funny, though.
Yo, I find there's humor in everything.
Like this topic.
Yes. Good segue.
Thank you. Thank you. So you were like, we should do a show about our exes. And then we started thinking about like who we would invite to the show. Like, is that something wrong with that?
I still think that would be an awesome show to have some of our exes on.
Invite your ex. Go ahead and invite your
Ex. Come on. Come, let's talk.
ex. Minus one of you motherfuckers are all welcome to the show.
Yeah, for real. I think that would be a very interesting conversation, because recently it popped in my head because one of my exes, who I've spoken about, I don't know if it's on our show or some show where I was just talking about my experience through being poly and all that. She just celebrated her birthday, and her wife reached out to me because she was like, I need like a stripper or something for her birthday. And it made my whole day. Like,
You were so on it.
I was so on it. But it was also like, the fact that she was comfortable enough to reach out, for one, was dope. Like, she queen status for that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then because she was like, I don't know this world. I know you know this world. So this is what I want to do for her. Can you help me out? And, you know, this is a ex, like, we are not romantically involved in any type of way, but one of those people that I'm like, I will love you for life because of the life experiences we had together, the growth that we've had together, and we've stayed in communication for like 20 plus years, you know? So I was like, I got you. And I was able to find some really dope performers who we know and have worked with for RFF that was there and did like strip and kink and all this amazing shit. And like, they hit me the next day like, yo, such a good time. I had an amazing time. So it's like, to be able to grow and be able to communicate is one thing, but it's another thing to still be able to add on to someone you care about's happiness and respect their relationship as y'all have grown. Like, to me,
so
that
beautiful.
so I was just thinking like, exes. I don't know.
Such a beautiful
I know
story.
I know. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you. Good night. But like, you know, so like I've thought about this because also I was writing this song with
Lyle.
Lyle, yeah, and it's it's dealing with exes, but not the good side of things. Like, you know, you learn, what is it? You can learn two things from people: what to do, what not to do. And our exes prepare us for who we're with. Sometimes they prepare us in a good way. Sometimes they prepare us in a bad way. And a lot of people, they always talk about, oh, the baggage from your past relationships. And we all got baggage, whether it's from relationships or not. Is your baggage neatly organized and have some important tools and shit in there? Hopefully. Or is it just all thrown together with shit that you don't want to pull out in front of your new person?
Right.
You know? So that's what kind of got me into this thought.
Okay. Well, it's interesting. This week, an ex of mine reached out to me to, in combination with what we were talking about before we got started on the topic, about some shit that the governor of Florida is doing. Because, like, he knows I live in Florida, and it's like some outrageous shit. Like,
And this is
really
porn in politics.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly. And he's like, is this really happening? And I just thought it was, like, nice, like, that you don't have to, like, wonder. Like, I know someone that lives in Florida that I could reach out to. I could ask this question. I'll also ask, like, you know my whole family. Like, of course you're going to ask how they are. And I know your whole family, how they doing. Okay, that's good. Yeah. You know, where they're a military family, so where's your wife at right now? How's everything going with the VA and all that kind of stuff, you know? Like, we can catch up like that, and it's nothing. I think that that's really beautiful, especially because, like, this person knows a part of kind of how you were saying with your ex. It's like our life experience. Like, you knew me when I was trying to figure out, like, who I was, you know, and now that we've all, like, have arrived or what have you, like, you have this time capsule that I'll never, you know, I could never, like, I could tell you stories about that, but this person experienced that part of my life with me. So it is nice to be able to have connection to that point in time in life. That being said, there are some folks who are just like, you brought me so much hell during those points in times in life. And, like, I don't know if I could say, like, I wish I never met some of my exes, but I wish I didn't experience certain things with them. How about for you?
That I wish I didn't know.
Didn't know, like,
I definitely have a couple people in that realm where it's like, nah, this is just
we ain't have to go.
This
through
was just a mistake, and we didn't have to go through this. But I do think, in a way, I did. You know, because it let me know what I didn't want.
Okay.
Or if I was in the wrong.
Okay.
What I needed to learn to be a better man from that situation. So it's easy. In the fucking moment, I'd be like, oh, I wish I never fucking met you. But, like, now that I'm removed from it, I'm like, all right, well, I learned from this relationship X, Y, and Z that now makes my current relationship work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those, what I learned.
Do you go back with your exes? Do you date backwards?
What you mean?
Like
if we broke up, we get back together type shit, or
after a while? Like, I know in the, like, when people are going through a breakup, like, you're kind of figuring out, like, should we separate? You know, there's some back and forth, but, like, have you revisited people from, you know, your past, like, or do you consider dating them? Or not dating. I don't know if it would be dating. Like, get back with them, I guess.
get back with them. I have had people who maybe we might have dated or messed around or something at some point, and then maybe years later we connected, but it might not have been like a breakup per se. We might have lost touch or disconnected in certain ways. But, like, if there was, like, a clear, like, we shouldn't fuck with each other no more, I don't think there's any, like, maybe we've reconnected on a friend level.
Okay.
But not on a romantic level. Because I do think, for me, like, definitely there's times when you be like, oh, maybe it's not the full breakup, but y'all take some space. Or whatever the case being. But like for me to get to a place with somebody where I'm like, we shouldn't fuck with each other no more. I don't like to go back on those words. What about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I mean, well, let's see. I think that there's probably 2 instances where I did like a lot of back and forth for a while, because one of us really wasn't ready to be out of the relationship for one reason or another, and the other one was like trying to like compromise for that person. But then once it was over, it was over. So and I don't like, when I think about those relationships, I'm like, no, I have no desire to figure out if that thing that we couldn't make work can work now. Like, I really think that is just like a factory defect for like, we don't. It'll always be a mismatch. But for other people, I could say that like I'd probably like always maybe would sleep with them again, but probably not the relationship. I could imagine myself like being in a situation like, oh, I fucked you before. Like, there's certain things that like you know a couple things. Yeah, or just like yeah, I'm familiar with your curve or whatever the thing is. Yeah. But I don't think that it's sort of like I already kind of got the best of knowing you, and now it's just like you're familiar, and I don't know.
There are some people who, and I guess this is the tough part for me, because there are certain people who we might not have been like an item in the sense of like, we are in a monogamous relationship now, and we are, there are certain people who, when I was definitely more like open and poly and things like that, where we might have hung out together and experienced one another in different ways and hung out and all that kind of shit, and like we were dating, but not like official tissue, where I would be interested in seeing how that person has grown and where they might fit in now. Like exes that was like, we was in real deep with it. Things. I don't think, maybe fucking. Okay. But like a full-fledged relationship, I don't know. There are a lot of people that I look at that I'm like, damn, I was their person that when they would get in a relationship, they would kind of like, I can't right now. But then as soon as they get out the relationship, we fucking again. Yeah. Like that, like in those kind of situations, I have some people like that was like, like those kind of situations. I'm like, yeah, we probably fucking again. Okay.
So I have an insecurity around exes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's the fact that I can say it tells me that I am evolving around this topic. So for me, it's like, I don't want your fucking inside jokes. I don't want you. No. I don't want anything. I don't want to have to deal with that train of thought with my new partner or with my partner. So like for you, I would always be like, I just need to know who in the room you fucked. Who you had a relationship with, because the bitch is over there giggling at me. Like, I need to know, what's the giggle about? What's the like, how's your mom doing? Like, ask me, I know how she doing. So, and it is from the place of holding familiar space and like, and a very special memories and things of that sort. And the reality is, there are friends that are not exes romantically that like you have like when your homeboys come over, like I don't really want to be there for y'all to tell a story, but I do know that being a new person in that space provides an opportunity for y'all to tell stories and relive memories with each other, and I'm comfortable with that. Like it's like nice to just see the joy, even though I'm just like, yeah, wasn't there, like none of this stuff really.
I don't even know who the fuck y'all talking about.
I don't, and it doesn't register, but it's like nice to be a part of that. I don't know that I would feel comfortable like, remember we was at the club and then the swingers club and then you pull my panties down, and I don't know that I would want to be there for that conversation, but I can at least in my big mature brain in here that we are. Big mature brain that I'm bringing to this table right now, say that like I can understand the really almost the exact same same connection that one would have with a non-romantic partner. But it does still make me feel a little bit insecure. It does make me feel much more on the outs than you talking about a time that you like scored 10 points or whatever on your boy. Like, I'm like, okay.
It was more than that.
Well,
No, I'm just fucking with you. I mean, I can see that. I think when I think about any of my exes that I would ever entertain, or people that I used to rock with, entertain any kind of romance or sex or even communication, to me, it's like they're the ones who are like the open-minded or probably poly or whatever kind of folk, because they would also then know like there's a certain level of respect that they would have to pay you.
Right.
So it wouldn't be like somebody that was just like monogamy.
Yeah, like
I
I'm
tried
trying to get
make you
back.
monogamous.
Yeah.
You know, because I do have exes that have hit me up for what we do, and been like, I can't believe you're fucking doing that shit. Like, like crazy, like
I've had your exes hit me up.
out of pocket shit. Like, what do you mean? I don't even fucking talk to you. Who cares what you think? Go screen that shit into the void, yo. Like that ain't got nothing to do with me.
That's part of the idea of like I want this person back. I shouldn't have let this person go. If I could have a chance, and I think that is my orientation to exes from the past, right? Is that this person, and this is like bad messaging, especially amongst women, that like how we sort of have been pit against each other, whether by each other or by others. It's like this person is trying to get their man back, right? When the reality could very well be like, this is a friend.
Or it could be like, I don't want that motherfucker no more.
Or right, that, or I don't want him without you. Like, hey.
A good way. No, and I do think, I think because there is this societal pressure on relationships for people to get married. Like, if you're in a relationship with somebody, it either turns out and is you get married and divorced, or you get married and die. And have kids somewhere and all of that, right? But not all relationships are meant for that. Not all relationships even need to have that as a goal. Like, you might be traveling one day and you meet somebody and you're just like, I know that and this has happened to me, that's why I'm saying it this way. Like, I know I am going back to where I'm from. Or like I had met somebody when I was I was like on tour somewhere in, where the fuck was it?
Look at you. Look at you.
No, I'm trying I'm messing up all the countries' names in my head.
All the countries.
But like, she was cool as fuck. But it was like a known thing. Like, I'm on tour. I'm only going to be here for like 3 days.
Right.
So we
Have
can hang
this
out.
little rendezvous.
We can have this rendezvous. We can hang out. But the chances of me coming back to this place, probably slim to none.
Right.
You traveling to see me, you probably don't want to do that shit either. But having that mutual understanding, like, we can just make the best of the time we have together. And it doesn't always have to be like in that kind of situation where you're traveling out of the fucking country.
Yeah.
Like, it could be somebody you know, and you're just like, I want to experience you in our connection in a different kind of way, without putting the pressure on it. Like, you got to come meet my fucking parents.
Yeah, that part.
You know what I'm saying? Like, relationships don't need that. And I feel like when you let go of that pressure, it actually allows you to really get what it is out of the relationship that is most beneficial to both of you.
So, okay, I have two things I want to share. One is like circling back and being like how your exes have responded to like a new version of you, whether it's like now or in the past. I'm going to share my story of that, and I just want to remember a time that I felt that we've had a situation where sharing information about an ex, or an ex sort of coming back into the picture, and I'm interested to hear what your thoughts were, because I don't really know what they were. I just know how you showed up, and I was just like, wow, with your big mature brain. So, okay, so the first one is, I remember right when I was like coming into my like sexual confidence, learning some new tricks and toys and things of that sort. I was like, you know, I'm gonna make this. My tour wasn't worldwide like yours. It was pretty local. Just like,
Worldwide horror tour.
okay, it wasn't that. It was local hocal.
Local hocal.
So, I remember like, okay, I want to try some of these things out, but I don't really want to just with new people, and like flirting with people like easy, like just like something on Facebook and you wait, they're gonna come, like how you doing? I'm good. How are you? What's been new? How's it? I'm gonna be in your area, and we should go and grab dinner or whatever. I already know. Y'all know from the dating shows. It's like, when are we gonna fuck, right? But then, like, when we were dating in like high school or in college, I didn't have like all this fishnet shit or these sex swings or whatever, and like bringing all of that and seeing them like, oh, like you've leveled up. And that just being like a really, really cool experience of like when we were together, I was letting them lead and then coming like back with like, no, actually this is what I like, or like you could learn this from me, and that being like very, very, very exciting.
I like that.
What about for you?
I've had exes that have come out to our events, and that is so dope to me.
Yeah.
Because it's like they're supporting what we do, but also open-minded enough to see me with my partner now and have fun and go home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think like those kind of interactions, like I definitely have exes that was like, who knew before we met my involvement in sex work and things like that. And then I have exes from way back that might just have been like, yeah, I could see this being what you wound up doing, you know what I'm saying? Or, it's only like one ex that I can think of that really, really, really had a problem with all this. And it was just like, whatever.
They made you up to be something that
whatever they wanted me to be, not who I am. Because I've always been a hoe. So that's like, but I think like a level up kind of situation. I can't really.
You're like, I kind of been.
No, it's not even that. It's that I haven't dealt with an ex in that way.
Got it.
In so long. That's why I think of when they've come out to events, or things like that, where they're like, "Yo, I fucks." Like I have some exes who just be like, "I love what y'all are doing." You know what I'm saying?
But
and I follow what y'all are doing.
I think that is like to the point where it's like I'm learning something from my ex.
But I didn't get to do what you did and like pull out the cat of nine tails in the bedroom and shit. I didn't get to do that.
Well, you were too busy overseas having a rendezvous, a 3-day rendezvous.
Yeah.
So a time that I thought that you were just like, I was just like, wow. So is this what it's like to date an adult? When one of our kids was graduating, and everybody knows our dating history. We're a blended family. I had an ex with that was a part of her life specifically, like early on in her like elementary, right before middle school days. And she was graduating high school, and this person wanted to be a part of that celebration. I personally was not comfortable with them being like all in the party, all in the video. Like, nah, we don't even have that kind of relationship. We were throwing the party, so it just didn't feel right to me. But they wanted to come in town and at least like celebrate her. And so I felt comfortable with that. She was thoughtful enough to like ask me, like, did I think that was appropriate? How did I feel about it? How were you going to feel about it? And then like I was like, hey, this is the situation. How do you feel? And you were just like, okay, that sounds cool. And it was just very like, And I was looking for like, okay, is he saying like it's cool? And then like after it happens, like, are you going to be like, not like angry with her or with me, but just like, is it going to change the chemistry of how you feel? Will you feel disrespected? Will you feel like sort of the insecurity that I was talking about? Like, oh, is this person trying to like make their way back in? And you were just so good about it. And so I'm really curious to ask. I don't know why I never asked. I mean, I guess because like you showed up in a way that didn't. I wasn't like, what's wrong with you? But like, what was going on in your mind? And like, is there anything to that we can learn from?
Well, I think my initial thought, especially when, having the conversation about where our daughter was coming from, it made me think like, I'm glad he did that. Because if not as if, but he did play a part in her life and her growing up. If he didn't reach out, that would have been whack. You know what I'm saying? So, in regards to you and him, I look at it like, I consider you to be an honest woman. I've never seen otherwise. So if you were interested in any shape, form, or fashion of reconnecting or keeping a connection or whatever, you'd have told me. And that was it. I think, and I can't say I've always, I've always been open. Like, I can't say that I've never experienced jealousy or been annoyed about ex people's situations or whatever. So ex out there, don't comment under this shit and be like, time when, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't say I've always been perfect, but like earlier, like any of those where I wasn't,
You've reflected.
I've on it. And I also like, what I feel about exes for everybody. It also depends on the level of which somebody that they possess their partner. So like super possessed, then the thought of kissing somebody, or sleeping with someone else, or sharing secrets, having inside jokes with someone else can tear you, because you see them together. Well, what are they saying about me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's where people come from with that. Go their mind where it's like, what was that movie Shut, where you're thinking partner with this person and all this other shit. So then it could be with your head. And for me, about this on a previous episode, I like to see my partner. I like them pleased. So if there be more off if it wasn't that somebody was like, yo, I had a horrible experience with this. Because then I'm thinking like, I hope you don't make a bad decision, another horrible experience. Hopefully they've changed if that's what y'all used to do. And I have to back my, like, not my protectiveness, because that was the next part I was going to. Some of us are very protective of our partner. So if someone has hurt our partner, then we're nothing of that person, and we forget. It does take two, you know what I'm saying, and not go into situations, but everybody can hurt other people, and I'm talking about like art or some shit, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we had a, you wasn't there for that argument. Can't really completely like judge this person. I just, they make you, you know what I'm saying? That's the hard part for me to be able to put on the back burner. If that makes sense. No,
it makes a lot of sense. I love the fact that you made the difference between possessiveness and protectiveness.
If that's a word, I think it is.
I mean, it is today. Protectiveness.
It's going to be my insurance company's name.
Protectiveness.
All you need is a black R&B singer to sing in the commercial, and you can make it as a
do the little jingle.
Nah, I'm good. I'll think about it for later.
All right, cool. It's about to get Kane to sing. But I think I know I've experienced both feelings of possessiveness. And that is sort of like that crazy running thought of like, you know, they talk about this, oh, he missed that, you know, and like that part. And then the protectiveness where it's like, no, like I've seen the damage that you can cause. Because my partner is vulnerable to like the good feelings, or I know how manipulative this person was based on the things that you've shared with me before. So like you just doing that thing and, you know, he or she is too wide open to see it. Like, so, but all that to say, to allow your partner, like to be able to share, like, these are the things that I'm concerned about. And I think we've been really good with that. Like, I'm concerned that this person has done this before and that they're going to do it again. And so I just want you to be aware, like make sure you have your self-awareness. And if I see something that looks funky, like can I share that with you without it being like an insult to your own intelligence and experience? And then the other is I've seen, or I don't want to say it, this makes me feel insecure, and this is why. It's not a you thing, it's a me thing. So just like reassure me by letting me know like what's up. And you know, like, and if like where are y'all at now?
Well, here's getting even more specific.
Oh Lord, what's her name?
In poly relationships like ours, or open relationships, people come and go. When it comes to exes, and I think you spoke about this before, like when somebody is with your partner and they're experiencing a breakup, what kind of advice can you give people for watching your partner go through either like the lead up to a breakup or a breakup with a partner that was also, I guess, in the mix per se, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think from an advice standpoint, it is to think about all the different ways that people break up. Like you said, like there are different styles of breakup. Some breakups are going to be like sharp and like someone has crossed a boundary that they can't come back from. And some people, that's not the case. Like they just maybe need some space. For some people, it's like we need space to figure that out, and that they are going to reconnect. So like all of those things are possible. And also kind of knowing where you're going to be in any one of those options. Was it unforgivable for you? Do you hold the same boundaries as your partner? And being able to be honest, like, hey, that thing that person did makes them untrustworthy for me. So this new, like the getting back relationship is going to need to look different than maybe what it was before. But still respecting that person's right to, again, be partnered with who they want to be with. If it's going to be one of those things where there's some level of back and forth, I think it's important to be honest, like, y'all got to do that thing over there. You know, like, I'm not trying to be on the roller coaster. You know, work it out for a couple of months and, like, let me know where it is once you get there. But like I think, you know, sometimes we're like it's like with your homegirl, like we hate them or don't, like, you know, are we do I roll my eyes when I walk in the house, or do I say hello? Like, so I think that is really important. I do think that's something that couples should discuss when things are good. Like, what happens if things change? Because I think, like, for us, I have always said, it's not that if we have an argument, if we fight or not, it's like, how? Yeah. You know, like, okay, we're going to get mad, we're going to have da-da-da, but, like, we're going to still eat tonight, right? Like, you know, or it's not going to be one of those things where, like, when you have an argument with your partner, do we start like blocking them? Like, that's something that comes up a lot, like blocking them on social media and acting, or do we kind of just like let things settle and just kind of see where things are? So I think that is something that you could actually plan for, and like hopefully you don't have to access any of those plans, and things just go as smooth as you would like them to go. But like you said, not every breakup is like a terrible thing. Sometimes it's just like, it fades out, or you realize like it's not for you. And that could be okay too. How about for you in terms of breakups, like some advice or some things that were helpful for you with poly partners?
I think when it comes to poly breakups, it can be tough because sometimes people are with the person more, or they might see a different side of the person, or you don't get along with this person the same kind of way that your partner does. So it's important to keep all that into context when either you or your partner is breaking up with somebody. You know, like in the case of when I have had breakups from somebody in our relationship, I try to explain like as much as I can. Like I'm also like, even outside of relationships, I don't like to, if someone tells me something in confidence about like their personal shit, but that's not usually why you break up with somebody, right? But like sharing this is where I'm coming from on this shit, this is where they're coming from on shit, because I also think that you're a good person to sometimes be like, am I bugging here? You know what I'm saying? So you can be like, yeah, you wilding, or no, I think you're completely on point here. So sometimes it's good to be able to do that with your partner, because your partner might not have been there for whatever led to y'all breaking up. So let's say your partner does have a strong connection with this person. You're like, yo, they just did some real foul shit to me. And then you're like, but they've never done any foul shit to me. So that does put you in a predicament where you're like, well, that shit was foul though.
You're gonna break the
so now it might be, if y'all are all together, you do have to talk to that other person as a third or a fourth or a fifth or whatever level of poly y'all in. Maybe you gotta have a whole group sit down and an intervention out this motherfucker or something, because it's important to always try and at least be on the same page, even if that same page is that we can no longer be together.
Right.
Personally, I don't like breakups that end as arguments, and it's hard to do that, you know, but sometimes for me, even it is important to reach out to exes if I feel that I was in the wrong, or if I feel we were both wrong, or even if they were wrong and I need to understand or explain to them like, yo, this is what led to me not fucking with you. Because I do feel like if it's an important relationship, this is somebody that's not really like that important in the situation, you're not going to really do all that. But like to be able to at least be like, yo, if you see me in the street, you ain't got to cross the street and shit. You
Cross
know
the
what I mean?
street. Bitch, cross the street if I'm with him. You can cross the street. I don't want to talk to you anymore.
And I mean, but I'm
yeah.
even speaking about just in my own personal, like before we were even together, like I've always been that way where I feel like, especially if I feel like I was in the wrong, I do want to let that person know like, this is where I'm at. This is what I did. This is my apology. Because I am just like that
Understanding is so important to you. It is so important that it is that you understand why someone would do something that led to this discomfort, and or for them to understand why you did what you had. Like, it is so important to you. And I think that is a very stand-up quality. It's also incredibly frustrating, especially in matters of the heart, where it's like, you may not understand for years.
No, that's real. And it definitely, for me, in certain circumstances, has been incredibly fucking frustrating. And there are still relationships that for me, I might be like, I'm glad the relationship is over, but I wasn't happy with how it ended, or the open-endedness of that last argument or something like that. You know what I mean? And that understanding shit is super important to me. So if you don't need to understand, your life is a whole lot fucking easier. But when I'm done, I'm usually like, I'm done. Like, I'm not trying to gain some understanding to make it, like, to
work,
get back together and make it work. I might just want to make it right. if that makes sense. And that's not always a fucking possibility.
No, especially with can't get right ass people. Like
yeah, some people just can't get
can't
fucking
get
right.
right.
And but then like usually if that is something that I've reached out about and it just can't get right, I can step away.
Yeah.
But then I'll try to figure it out on my own with the fucking arithmetic and all that shit in my brain.
Yeah, that's a lot. I don't know what I don't think either of us like are right or wrong in that approach. It's just like how our brains work and the connectiveness to people. There have been relationships that have been over for me, and I guess skipping past the understanding and getting to the like what do I understand about myself? Like their input is not really going to be any more valuable than what I'm gathering, you know.
Well, let me make it. If somebody did some fucked up shit,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to. I'm talking about like
I understand that shit was fucked up.
Yeah, and you a fucked up person. But
Right,
like if it's
yeah.
like an amicable kind of situation or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna get we got deep on that one, but I got another question
Okay.
for you.
Okay.
Do you have any exes
Mm-hmm.
that you wish you could have on Royal Fetish Films? At any point in time. It doesn't have to be like, oh yeah, I want to film with them tomorrow. But it was just like, oh, I had this chemistry with this person that would have looked amazing on film.
You know what? There's one person. When I've circled the block back again, when I was just like, let me try these little new things out. Some of them I was just like, the fuck happened to you? Like,
You fell off.
yeah, or like, what was the big deal? Like, you know, and I still don't know. I don't have understanding. I don't really need it. Kinda going
I
back.
don't need to understand why you fell off.
It was like if they fell off, if I was so infatuated, if I didn't know what good sex was, or I just really know what I like and expect, that you just like you just can't measure up now, you know. That's super. Just curious about that.
She said one now all your exes is gonna be in your inbox like, was it me?
It wasn't you. Now this person I actually kind of dated. They were, I wouldn't even necessarily consider them ex because we didn't have like that, like you know, that type of relationship. But he's probably the only person that got very that was like definitely a dominant, what we would consider a sexual dominant.
Yeah.
And he pushed my boundaries in a way that I have never experienced and maybe won't ever experience again. Like, but because I had that experience with him, if he did it again, I already know now where it starts and where it ends, and that like we could be cool. We're fine. He didn't like take that persona and it didn't transpire into anything else outside of it. But it was like an experience where I was just like, okay, you try that. And I was like, all right, that. And so like thinking about for Royal Fetish Films, I think it would sell well because it's like a persona that I am never in.
Yeah.
It's like this person could be dominant of me sexually, and I wouldn't be shit talking back. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't also be like, oh yes, I can't even utter those kind of words. But it's just, I think that he brought something out that because we did it and it worked out, I would be like, hey, let's do that whole thing again, but this time with the cameras, like, and then can you say it and project it into the camera? Like I could redirect it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if y'all ready, I'll fire up the.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to answer the question.
No,
but no, I'm also letting him like, please don't. How about for you?
No, that was your question.
No, but I'd like to know for you now. No, it's
You
okay.
gotta think of your own questions.
My
I'm
question
just fucking with
is
you.
don't ever ask a question that you're not willing to answer.
Of course, that's the statement. But same kind of.
The slapper?
The slapper would actually be wild on camera. I don't know where she is in the world right now. I don't know if she's watching. But the story is out. So, no, there's a couple people who I'm like, I think they would look amazing on camera if they were comfortable on camera. But would they be? I don't know.
That's not part of it. We don't need to know.
But no, I do think there are some people that I had like really great chemistry or a particular experience with that I'm like, I wish that experience was on camera.
The kitty cat.
The kitty cat would be amazing on camera. But see, now you can you already know. Nah, there's yeah, I think there's a couple people who would, if they were interested now, I'll be like, yeah, why not? You know what I'm saying? Come get down with the team.
Okay. See, you would open that door.
I would open that door. But none of them are like people that are like I was in a committed relationship with. Those people that I fuck with. So I think like that would probably be the good thing. If any of my exes did say that they wanted to be on film or something like that, I can think of one, and you have met her, out in Chicago.
Okay.
That I could see if she was like, yo, I would fuck with it, because I know she would probably fuck with both of us too. You know what I'm saying? So I could see that as being something that would be interesting, because then it would be like a first.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? Like that would be an interesting kind of situation.
She's a very beautiful woman.
This is true.
And she has good taste in men.
Oh shit.
I've seen her new partner. But that's on our swinging episode.
She gonna bring him. Hey, we could film them.
We could, or maybe he's like a behind the camera kind of guy, and we could, right?
Well, I wouldn't be mad if they hit me up. Unlike the other person we were just talking, I wouldn't be mad if they went down in the DMs.
Okay, so let's end here, so that way we don't so like you over talk, and then they're like think they'll walk themselves out of it. Like, no, now's a good time. Ooh. Kinky in Costa Rica 2024.
Royal Fetish.
My life's like a movie, paparazzi picture. If it's to get richer, then I'll probably get.
Now I'm kind of stuck.
We already put it out there for the exes who want to come on the show and have this conversation. So I kind of feel like this could be a part one.
Do you really think that one of your exes, are you really open to? I mean, and what is the conversation going to sound like?
I have absolutely no idea. I feel like that's one of the ones you would have to show up with your
my cards.
Jasmine cards.
I'm like,
with some real ass questions.
When y'all dated, did he ever? How did you curb this behavior?
All right, so it's a bad idea. I rescind. No, I don't know. I think like the way people view us and view our relationship, they have these ideas either like they're to this or they can't truly be that. You know what I'm saying? So like there's this disconnect that I feel like anybody can have whatever it is that you want out of your relationship if you work for it. You know what I'm saying? Like you might not be poly, you might not be a sexual opportunist, you might not be a porn producer, but for whatever it is that you want out of your relationship, you can get that shit. And I feel like that's the underlying message of when we talk about like what we found in each other, what we work for with each other. And I feel like if there was just this conversation that someone would actually be open to, then it's like, these are learning experiences. We all have learning experiences. We all have relationships that we might have high hopes for that don't meet those, or that we had no hope for and it exceeded our expectations. So I just feel like in the sense of honesty and just openness, I thought that shit would be cool. But I could have thought of that shit when I was really fucking high one night, and who knows? So maybe it's not a great idea. Who knows?
But
we won't know until the motherfuckers do it.
Okay.
And then if that shit is bad, y'all will never see a part two.
Okay. So
bang.
Can you say the city of the person that you're thinking that you would like to invite to the show?
Oh, I didn't say I want them on the show. I was saying they can come on Royal Fetish Films.
No, that part. Well, we know that. But I'm
Oh,
talking
I
about,
have
like,
exes in a
part
couple
two.
cities. I'd be open to them being on the show.
Okay. Are you going to send this show to them? Like, if you directly send this show to them,
Would they know I was talking about
Yeah.
them? Well, I mean, I'll just tell them in a message. Like, yo, would you
Okay.
be open to being on the show?
okay,
That's how.
you roll.
Yeah, I ain't gonna send it indirects.
Okay. We talk about a lot of people indirectly on this show. I just know.
No, I mean, if I want somebody to be
Okay.
on the show, I'll reach out to them.
Okay. Cool. All right.
We don't be saying indirects. We just leave out people's names because they might not want to be on the show in that kind
Well,
of way.
I know that, but I'm also thinking about, like, see, I've been very clear. Like, I'm not inviting anyone anywhere to talk about anything at any time, anywhere.
Gotcha.
But I do know that you have a lot of exes that would be like, oh, like me, no, if
No,
you did
it
not
wasn't.
get a direct,
It wasn't you.
yeah, if you didn't get a direct, I don't want anybody to be just showing up at the next podcast schedule.
That
Like,
would be wild, though.
it would be.
That would be a different kind of interview.
You do have some wild exes, though.
This is true.
All right.
And on that note,
Good night.
peace.